I'm trying not to be peeved, but I just recorded this entire sit down video and I realized that my mic had slight reverb on it. So now I need to re record the whole thing because I sound like I'm in a tin can. Cool. Great. Everything's great. How are you today? I'm great. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to another video, or welcome to your first video of Book Blabs. I'm Nat, and I love to blab all things books. Today, I want to talk about 15 different books or series that I would love to reread. So, as an avid reader, I have a very almost unmanageable physical TBR. I think it's like 200 plus books on it. So, with that being said, I feel this kind of obligation or this responsibility to, chip away at that TBR. However, it makes me feel guilty for wanting to reread books because it's like, why would I read this book again when there are 200 books on my shelf waiting to be read for the first time? And so one of my goals this year is to just let go of that guilt or that like anxiety because like I read for enjoyment. So if I want to reread one of my favorites, I want to reread one of my favorites. The books that are on my physical TBR are still going to be there. I'll get to them. But yeah, I'm going to reread this year. So let me know if you want me to post reread vlogs or something. Actually, I might do that anyways, even if you say no. So yeah, I'm sorry. Before we get started, I just want to do a quick disclaimer that this list is in no particular order. Like, the number doesn't mean like how badly I want to reread it. It's just 15 books or series in any particular order. They are not organized whatsoever, so it's going to jump back and forth from different genres. You might get some whiplash. I apologize. Let's go ahead and get started. So pull up a chair, grab a snack, grab a beverage. I am drinking a homemade matcha latte. I put a splash of vanilla in it, and it is divine. So let's take a breath, take a sip, and let's get yapping. So good. First on my list, number one, is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. The last time I read these books was when I was like 13. I think I was in like 7th grade, and I always love to say that books are kind of a time capsule because the text never changes, but you as a reader do change. And so if you reread books, like, you'll get to form different opinions, different perspectives, and it's like you'll get to almost compare like how the past you perceived it versus the present you. And then if you reread it again down the line, then you have like multiple versions of you reading the same book, and it's cool to see like what stands out to you and like what you notice that you didn't notice from before and so on. And so I would love to go back and just say hey to some of the characters that really affected my life in the most positive way, because this series is what really like got me into like binge reading. Because before, like, I was always a reader, but I never was like a very like avid like binge crazy book dragon level type of reader. And so I would just love to go back and say hey, poke my head in, kind of find that like cozy home like yes, that nostalgic feel. Book number 2 is A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain. This is like, if you ever want to read a classic book that doesn't feel like a classic book, you have to read this one. This book is so good. It's so funny. It's about this New Yorker. Hi, it's Editing Natalie. He's from Hartford, Connecticut. I don't know why I said New York. The name is literally A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. I'm so sorry. I just had to correct myself. Okay, bye. Who works in like, I think it's like, I don't know if it's construction or if he works in like a car garage or something, but something really heavy hits him on the head. He gets a head injury and he wakes up in old England during King Arthur's time. Like he wakes up during like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and all of that stuff. And so he uses his futuristic knowledge to be kind of witty, and he predicts the future, and he starts inventing all of these things that make their lives so much easier. So he gets like rich and famous and wealthy and wealthy and wise, and just, you know, he becomes a celebrity of his time. And it's just really funny because Mark Twain's wit and sarcasm and his just like particular sense of humor is just so fun and easy to read. Like, I truly think you will not be bored. It's cool. It's really fun. I suggest you read it, and I'm going to reread it because it's like one of my favorite classics of all time. Number 3, I have the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I reread the first 2 books once when one of my besties, Mackenzie, was reading it. I wanted to follow along with her and, you know, just kind of like read it when she was reading it. And I had a good time, but I never finished it. And so now I kind of want to go back and just like reread the whole series and just go back to a series that truly like feels so home-like to me. And it's just a cozy feeling I get. Like, I feel like it'd be a good comfort read to just reread something that I love so much and just be back with the inner circle and say hey to all of my, like, well, not all of them, but like some of my favorite book characters ever. Then number 4, I have the Red Queen series. I read this, I want to say like late high school, early college age, and I was not expecting to love this young adult fantasy series as much. Like, you know, I heard good things. I was like, you know, I'll try it. It seems like it'll get my interest. Girly pops, besties, I was obsessed. I freaking loved this series. I binged the whole thing. It was so amazing. It was so fun. And I just want to like go in with a fresh set of eyes because I was not expecting the twist that happened at the end of book 1. And now that I know what I know, I want to see if I can like pick up the clues or see, because yeah, I went in totally blind the first time, and it's just like you can never get that moment back when like the twist hits and your jaw is on the ground. But I want to go back and like investigate and see if she left little clues. So yeah, Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, that series I would love to reread. Then to kind of completely jump genres, I have Haunting and Hunting Adeline. Yeah, it's a very controversial, like, dark romance duet or duology, if you want to call it. And I love it. And I'm sorry if that gets me canceled, but I loved it. And I love how it almost adds to the scariness of it because, and like the darkness of it, because it actually brings to light a very serious thing that happens in real life, and it's terrifying, and it's like still a problem to this day, and I feel like it does not get talked about enough. And like, I don't know, I like how this book talks about it and kind of brings light to that. And I also love a good dark romance. So, and I think this is like the dark romance that got me into dark romances. And I know people say that like this is like an extreme. So like they might think I'm crazy for starting at Haunting and Hunting Adeline. But you know, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Next, I have King Lear by Shakespeare. And before you say that I've lost you, hear me out. Linda, listen.
Listen, Linda. Listen.
Okay. Shakespeare is an art. He is like another language that you need to learn. And it's like I took 3 Shakespeare classes, and so when I first started, I was like, what the hell is he trying to say? Why can't he just say it more simply? Like, what is he doing? What's going on? Why? Like, why would I put myself through this hell? I promise you, it's an art form, and he is a genius. Like, This might be kind of crazy to say, but I believe this is true. This is my belief. I think Shakespeare was the Taylor Swift of his time. Okay, let that sink in. I think Shakespeare was the Taylor Swift of his time because Taylor Swift's songs are so lyrical, they're so poetic, they're so beautiful. Like, instead of just saying what she means, she puts it into this poetic visual, this beautiful language that just like hits you and you're like, oh my gosh, that's like a lyrical genius. Shakespeare did the exact same thing with his plays. Instead of just saying, hey, what's up, shoddy? He would say like, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And like all of this beautiful language. He's just so extra, and it's like the more you press in and the more you learn about what he was doing, the more beautiful. Like, I don't know, I'm probably nerding out. I was an English lit major. Okay, let a girl live. But King Lear was so fun, and I remember really liking that play, so I would love to go back and reread it. If you do want to get into Shakespeare, I recommend starting with the sonnets and then going from there, or starting with the more well-known plays so you can watch the movies first. So like there's Romeo and Juliet, there's Hamlet, there's Macbeth. They're all movie versions, so you can kind of visualize and see what's happening, and that way you can go back to the text and then you can kind of read and be like, oh, and then kind of learn his language and what he's trying to say. Okay, I promise it's not bad. We need more Shakespeare stands in the world, please. Number 7, I have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I absolutely love this book. I miss Elliot. Elliot is a great book boyfriend, and it's a really good childhood best friends to lovers book. I remember the big plot points, but I don't remember all of the little details, and so I would just love to go back in and just experience this love story again. And it's like one of my faves, so I would love to do that. So that's why it's on my list. Number 8 is a bit of a time commitment, but it's probably the most important to me on this list. It's the Throne of Glass series. And if anyone knows me or follows me on this channel or anything, you know that I love Throne of Glass. It's like my Roman Empire. It is my favorite series, my favorite books like ever of all time so far. I've only read them once, and it was back in like 2023, and it's not 2026, and I'm like, that's depressing. I miss my favorite characters. I miss my girly pop Aelin. I miss everything. So I would just love to immerse myself in that series again. I think it'll be so good for my mental health to just go back in. Number 9, I have Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I read this book, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, and I love the Studio Ghibli movie. Like, the movie is beautiful. It's probably my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. That's what inspired me to read the book. The book is quite different, but it's still very whimsical, very fun, very cozy. It's like a cozy fantasy. Plus, for Christmas, my boyfriend Jaden got me the most beautiful special edition. So it has this beautiful cover that's like kind of reflective, the spine, the back. Look at a good sprayed edge. It's the stars. You know how the stars fall. And then there's images in the front. I think the image in the front and the back is the same. Yeah. And then I don't even know. Let's check the cover together. Oh, it says Howl's quite heartless, you know. Oh, stop. So, oh my gosh, there's Calcifer in the fire. I love it. So, I would love to reread my new beautiful edition. Number 10, I have The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. This is kind of like a thriller / horror / true crime feeling book. It is terrifying because it's told from the main girl's perspective, but it's dual timeline. So in one timeline, she is with the detectives after the fact that she's been like saved, and she is talking with the detectives and the police about like what happened, and then the other half is like her whole experience of her living through this pedophile slash serial killer who collects young girls and women. And it's disturbing what he does, and the disturbing way to like, I don't know, it's horrific. And but it's like, and I don't mean to say this with this amount, but like I think Dot Hutchison writes it in such a respectful way that it like really packs a punch, and it like really hits you in the gut, and it like disgusts you that people like this exist, but it doesn't like traumatize you to the fact where you're like, I'm never gonna sleep again, I'm never gonna leave my house again. Rude. Rude. That's all I gotta say is rude. How dare they interrupt? Don't we know we're talking? We're trying to have a conversation here, and they're gonna rev their motorcycles. Rude. Anyways, let's go back to what the adults were talking about. Anyways, she just does it in such a good way. Like, she has such vivid imagery, and it's like you can really picture yourself there. It like paints a picture in your head. But I don't know, I highly recommend. It's on Kindle Unlimited. BT dubs. Number 11 is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This was the first Ali Hazelwood book I ever read, and it holds a place in my heart. Like, I love it, and I love the fact that she beats this man at chess, and then he's obsessed with her. He's like, holy crap, like, play me again. Like, he just falls head over heels, and he will do anything for her, and she's like, what? Like, it's hard.
What, like it's hard?
And just like the chemistry and the friendship that turns into more, like, it made me fall in love with Ali Hazelwood's writing. And so I would just love to revisit that book that like kind of really got me into her writing. Number 12 is The Right Move by Liz Tomford. These books are on Kindle Unlimited, but I actually had to buy a physical copy of this book because I knew I was going to want to reread it. Like, this book is one of my favorite romances of all time, and it's also pink, so it's a double whammy. I'm like, I have to have it. Yeah, Ryan Shea, I need to visit him again. He is the greenest flag of all green flags of book boyfriends. I cannot wait to get back into this. So yeah. And then another side note that's probably like way too much information, but my Pookie Bear bestie, Sophia, shout out to Sophia, we were talking about potentially getting together and bedazzling this book, but then the more I look at it, it's very intricate with the details. I'm like, I don't know how successful we'll be, but we'll talk about it. We'll hash out the details. But yeah, this book's beautiful. I love it, and I can't wait to reread it. Number 13, we have The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie. This is my favorite mafia romance I've read to this day, and I'm usually pretty harsh on mafia romances because they're all pretty cookie cutter, pretty like they use the same tropes and micro tropes, and it's like nothing new. But this one, oh, I don't know what she put in it, but like, oh my god, this one's so good. I cannot wait to reread it. I love it. I love this book. It's arranged marriage because it's in the mafia families, and so the main male character is engaged to the female main character's sister. That's their arranged marriage. But the male main character wants our female main character instead of her sister. But the thing is, it's like he has to, like, for the sake of the families, he has to go through with it. And so it's like when other men are talking to our female main character, he's like, she may not be mine, but nobody can have her. And just like the longing, the chemistry, the tension, and it's like close proximity because like he has to be around her because he's engaged to her sister. And it's so good. It's so freaking good. Maybe I'll download that today. Like, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm hyping myself up to it. Number 14, we have In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. This was probably my favorite book that I read in high school, and it's so good. Like, if it's like, I'm not even a historical fiction girly, but I think maybe this is historical fiction but based on a true story. It's about the Mariposa sisters, and they're four sisters that were all revolutionaries during the Dominican Republic Revolution way back when. And so it kind of shows like what life was like during the dictatorship and like how the revolution took place, how scary and dangerous it was, and how these four women really like made a difference and made an impact. And it's good. It's moving. I don't know, it kept me on the edge of my seat. I loved all the different POVs because all the sisters were so different, but they were also like so brave and inspiring in their own ways. So I love that book. I cannot wait to reread it. Last but not least, I have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I want to say I read this series back in like 2021 or 2022. I don't know. It was like the very beginning of like college for me. I buddy read this with my bestie Lexi. Hey Lexi, if you're watching, love you, girl. Yeah, and I just like fell head over heels in love with this series because it was so different. Because it's like when you read about like fae and fairies, it's always like the beautiful, majestical, alluring ones, and then these ones are kind of like Holly Black's fairies are kind of like old folklore where they're kind of like almost funky, crazy looking, and they're trying to trick you and they're trying to get you to make deals that screw you over and they can't lie. And so it kind of gives like Spiderwick Chronicle vibes, and but like different. And so I don't know, and I loved how political this one got because I feel like a lot of romanticies are very romance forward. This one was romance was very much a subplot, like a back burner plot, and then like the politics and the world building really took the front stage. Like it was front and center. I don't know, I probably could have worded that better, but you know what I mean. That was those were my 15 books or series that I would love to reread in 2026. Please let me know if you have any of the same books that you'd like to reread, or if you have different ones that you think I should try for the first time based on like my taste of like some of my faves that I'd love to reread. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check me out on my other socials that are down below. Check out my podcast on Spotify with Lorelai, our little library. Yeah, thank you guys. I love and appreciate you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.